countdown to the midterms is on, and we have a live audience here in New York to help us tackle all the big issues, including immigration, the border wall, and national security. And Benji, right here, has got a point that you want to make. I want to get you straight away.
Yes. Hey, Steve. Love the show.
Oh, you do? Well, that's
yes,
very good to hear.
I was one of the people who was with President Trump last week at the Black Leadership Summit in Washington, D.C. I just want to let Al Sharpton know I was not paid. Anyway, with all the new support that President Trump is getting
actually, I just want to ask you about that, because how did you feel when I saw a lot of people, they literally described you as a prop?
Yes, we are the MAGA Negroes, according to the Roots or whatever. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, the whole point is that they're just upset that they see that Republicans are peeling off the black vote, and Republicans get 20%, 25% of the black vote. In two elections, there is no Democratic Party. They go the way of the Whigs in the garbage bin of history. So that's why they're so upset, and that's why they go so hard against us. But it's working. We're moving. People like myself, like Candace Owens and Blexit and all that, and Walkaway as well. We're moving and we're doing it. They're just very upset. They're haters. I mean, it is what it is.
How does it connect to immigration? Well, you had a point about
yes, because what I don't understand is that black people are polled at 70% against illegal immigration. So why is it that the Democrats are still pushing it, even though their core constituency is against it?
Yeah, that's
it's a bit strange.
It's a great point, and it's a point that Teslin makes often on the show, and it just goes to this point about immigration, uncontrolled immigration, hurting people, you know, who least can afford it, the working Americans and so on, including African Americans, Hispanic Americans and so on. All right. Let's see who we have to join the mooch to break down this vital topic of immigration. Yes, the doctors are in the house. Please welcome Trump 2020 campaign media advisor and author of Mad Politics, Dr. Gina Loudon, and Fox News national security strategist, former deputy assistant to President Trump and author of Why We Fight, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. The doctors, here they are. So just before we get started, now you see we're matching here with the poppies. So just tell the audience here and at home what that's all about.
So as kids who grew up in the UK, this means a great deal to us. The Commonwealth countries hold a Memorial Day. We call it Veterans Day here in the US. And these are the poppies that grew in the fields after World War I. And this is to pay respect to all those who died in World War I.
I'm very pleased to do so. Thank you very much. And there's one last thing. So before we get back to immigration, there's a trivia quiz I want to try out on our audience. So Dr. Gorka just mentioned one of the things we have in common. We both grew up in the UK. What's the other thing we have in common? Does anyone know?
Pretty serious thing.
Hungarian ancestry is very important. So should we do the? Should we do the rest of the? Let's do the rest of the segment in Hungarian. How do you think that would go?
Persze.
Persze, beszéljünk magyarul.
Jó.
Jó, és akkor.
És akkor a többiek hogyan fognak?
Nem számít. Make America great again in Hungarian. Can we do that?
Legyen Amerika nagyon jó még egyszer.
Not bad. He's not making it up. All right. Let's.
And our parents both escaped in the revolution.
That's right.
Wow. Right.
And my stepfather as well. All right. So, well, by the way, this really is a good connection to the point about immigration, that we're immigrants.
Well, our
kind of twice over, refugees. And so the point I've always made is that I'm pro-immigration, but it's got to be done the right way. It's got to be controlled. And it's been out of control for too long. Gina?
You're absolutely right. I mean, when we're looking at, for example, these migrant caravans, I think, you know, it would be, America is the most generous, charitable nation ever on the planet, ever, right? And that stands, and we're like twice as generous as the rest of the entire world put together. We love to welcome people. We want to welcome people. Yes, we are proof right here that we are a nation of immigrants. But as much as you probably invite people into your home, maybe for Thanksgiving from your church, or I know I've invited the guy that delivers our firewood in because he didn't have any place to go. We all would do that. But you can't invite 500 people into your house. There's a certain point where logic has to dictate that now that these are waves of migrant immigrants, illegals, we have to have some law and order here. It has to be.
That's right.
The rule of law has to be employed.
That's what I find so offensive about the way it's been characterized as being racist, if you just want a control of the system.
Coming from a president who married an immigrant, let's be clear.
Exactly
okay, so this is the same way that they call him an anti-Semite when his daughter converted to Judaism. It's the absurdity of the left. But the point you made with the audience is the key one. When we have waves of illegal immigrants, you are going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. We're all going to be fine. Everybody in this room is going to be fine. But it's the manual laborer in California. It's the fruit picker who works legally who's going to be hurt the most. It's the people at the bottom rung of our society who are just trying to scrape by, and somebody comes across the board and says, I'll work for half of that, just give me the cash under the table. You're hurting the most vulnerable people in society if you think this is a good idea.
What do you think from an economic perspective?
So I just want to re-emphasize what Dr. Gorka is saying. So this is the miracle of the Trump economy. And so what he's actually done is by cutting the illegal immigration, and who wants it, illegal immigration? It's nonsense. By cutting it, he took the slack out of the labor market, and he tightened the African-American and Hispanic-American labor markets to the lowest unemployment numbers in the recorded history of those markets. So he can't, for some reason, the left won't give him any credit for that. But the Wall Street Journal does. The Wall Street Journal says that those people that Dr. Gorka is talking about, their wages are up 5.5%. The bottom 10% of America, the wages are up 5.5% in the last year. So this is the miracle of the Trump economy.
Think about this, Steve. There are oil companies in America right now that are offering $25,000 cash signing bonuses. If you've got a pulse and are breathing and you can drive a truck, you're working. That's the Trump economy.
That's right.
And illegal immigration kills that.
But there's also the crime issue. Steve, I just moved to Florida not that long ago from San Diego, California, of course, a border city, and I saw the crime exacted on the legal immigrant community, most of them legal immigrants from Mexico. Many of them, their family members are, for example, ICE agents. People don't realize that that's where the crime is exacted, the human trafficking, of course, the opioids we've heard all about. But in states like Arizona, crime rates among illegal immigrants, because this is often misreported by the more leftist regressive news outlets, is actually like 250% more exacted on mostly the legal immigrant population. So if you're really pro-immigrant, you should be pro-legal immigration only, because that protects the legal immigrants that are here.
Well, I don't know about that data, but I totally agree with the general point that we should be. I can see people nodding. I mean, who here is anti-immigration? You're not anti-immigration, right? You just want it controlled. I can see people nodding along with that. It's just, and I think it goes to this point that if it's so evident that laws are being flouted and something so important is out of control, it undermines people's faith in government overall.
Yeah, but see, let's talk about the dirty little secret. This isn't about the economy. This is about illegal votes, right? When the Democrats say voter suppression, who's getting suppressed? People who are committing crimes by voting. They think they're going to lock in a new voter base by allowing illegal immigrants in, giving them IDs, as they do in California and other places, so they can vote illegally.
Driver licenses.
Right, driver licenses. Right, or then somehow giving them an amnesty 5-10 years from now. The Democrats lie when they say they care. They say they're the compassionate party. It's about power. Everybody knows.
And by the way, I mean, again, some people hear that and think, oh, that's extreme, that's over the top. But, Stacey Abrams, candidate for governor in Georgia, she basically said it in a speech to supporters.
But it's also important to note that in many places now, it is perfectly legal for non-citizens to vote on the state and local
in San Francisco and local elections.
Level.
All right.
Yes.